So we're going to start today's video in a very British fashion. It is absolutely freezing cold. It's even snowing. However, that is not going to stop us from getting this Mercedes GLS and giving it the full Cambridge corridor treatment. It is about to embark on an absolutely bonkers journey, which we are going to showcase with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's get this car in the warmth and get it sounding right.
Hey guys, come check this one out. We've fully stripped out this GLS. It's had a sound system in it before, but the customer came back to us, wanted something a bit more, with more clarity, a bit more. So we're going to be ripping out the old system, which was a 12-channel amp with a fully active sub. And we're going to be putting in a really nice system with four 4-channel amps, all Hertz Melee Legends. And we're going to be chucking some tweeters in the A-pillars, some of the Thesis range, and we've fully stripped out the entire car because then we can really run our wires properly. We're going to be sound deadening the bottom area, adding some other sound deadening elsewhere, rerunning all our wires into the doors, of which we've already mounted all of our speakers, and then creating a custom area in the back to hold all of our sub, our amplifiers. We're going to be keeping the already fully active sub. And just really giving the front end some more clarity and try and make customers as happy as possible and send them away with an awesome sounding sound system. So as you can see, we've already removed these A-pillars and stripped them off, cut a hole and mounted these 3D printed mounts to hold our Thesis tweeters. We've fully shaped them and we just need to do a bit more in here to make them look extra nice. And then we're going to wrap them in Alcantara and get them looking great. So the original sound system had this 12-channel amp with an extra 13-channel powering the sub. However, we need to put in 4 Hertz Melee Power amps and a processor in the middle. We're going to keep the original sub, but first we needed to create a mounting system for these amps. So we've gone for a flat plate in the back here. We're going to angle these two on the sides. We're going to put our sub in the middle, and then we're going to be placing a second layer on top of here with our amps on either side, our 3rd and 4th, and then our processor to control the entire system in the middle, getting rid of that completely, and then having all our wires run out the side and down the side of the car, nice and neat. So we've mostly made our mounting plates. We've got them almost all the way there. However, we're just gonna, now that we've got them into position and we know where our amps and everything are gonna go finally, we can run all of our cables, get them all finalized and into position, get some nice slots for them all to be hidden. And then once this is all done, we'll carpet this, get it all screwed in, bolted in, nice and tight. And then when it's all done, it should be nice and displayable for the customer, as we want it. So we have our processor, which is going to take all of our inputs from the car through here, from the amp in the car, and an optical input, which is our Bluetooth beacon product, which will give a high quality Bluetooth input, and will give us 13 outputs on the front, on the back here. Channels 1 to 12 for our amps and 13 for our subwoofer. These will then go split on along the back and go into our amplifiers. Number 1, number 2, number 3 and number 4 in the car. We have channels 1 to 4 for our front tweeters and our mids in the front, which then come out of, in through here, get amplified and then come out of the back here through our outputs in the back and then head off down the back and out into the car. Same happens here. However, we're only using 2 channels, so we're going to use a mono setup. So we only have 2 inputs, so we're bridging those channels. So channel 1 will come in, use both outputs, and bridge it into one output on here. Same thing for the other side. Our B input will just bridge and give us one output on the other side. So it amplifies those even more, and that's going to our woofer in the front. We'll do the same for our woofer in the rear, so they'll get even more power, and then our 2 sets of tweeters in the rear will get another amplifier. And we've got our power also coming in. We've got power for here. We've got controller inputs here and here. And yeah, it's pretty much the setup, and let's get it in the car. Right, now that we've got most of the car back together, we've just put the A-pillars in. They're looking nice. We've got the new Thesis tweeters in the front, and the original Hertz Legends that were in the doors here, we've moved back and put them in the rear shelves, the rear quarter shelves, just to add a bit more sound to the back and yeah, give them a bit more tuning back there as well. We've also, now that we've got most of the car back together, we've got a little bit more to do. We've just got a controller to put in the middle and put some of the back together, get the seats in, get the steering wheel on, and then we can test everything, make sure everything's safe, everything's working how it was before and everything, and then maybe get onto tuning.
That is the install all done, but I want to walk you through exact spec of what we've done, why we've done it as well, in a little bit more depth. Obviously you've seen how incredible this system is with all of the level of gear that's gone in, but it's all about selecting those right products and doing things that are correct. And obviously every client is different, exactly what they want, everyone specifies it exactly how they want it. So originally on the Harman system, there was a tweeter up here, there was a 3-inch mid down there, and a 6.5-inch mid bass down here. The 6.5-inch mid bass driver down in the bottom of the door, absolutely fine as a location. However, the mid-range location being right down here, right playing into your calf, wasn't a great location. Because as you go up higher in the frequency range, so when you go up to a tweeter frequency or a mid-range frequency, the more directional the product becomes. That's why a sub is normally mounted in the boot area and can be hidden or shoved right at the back, because bass frequency is not as directional as your clarity coming from your tweeters and your mid-ranges. So having that down here was a little bit of a problem for our client. We wanted to go for the Audison Thesis line, so what we've done is the Audison Thesis tweeter with the new grille. We've color coded that and it looks really, really smart. So black grills with the silver to match the rest of the interior, but we've actually moved the mid-range location from here over to a custom pod, and you'll probably see that just over my left shoulder here, which looks absolutely incredible. And the doors are all closed, looks absolutely incredible. They blend in really nicely. They are custom, you guys can see them on this car. However, having that design looking really smart, retrimmed in Alcantara to match the rest of the other bits, like we've done the Alcantara steering wheel as well, just really gives it a really high-end feel. But also that sound stage now being brought up from down here to all the way on top of the dashboard is going to make it sound absolutely incredible, which you guys will get to hear in a little bit. So that in essence is the front end of the car. Obviously this vehicle has been fully acoustically deadened, as you can probably tell by there. The doors are now nice and solid. The rear end of the car is the Hertz Mille Legend, so you got the new tweeter that sits in the OEM location, the mid-range which sits again stock location down at the bottom, and then the 6.5-inch mid-bass driver down on there. So the rear is just a stock look. So moving on to the rear of the vehicle, what we've done in the OEM location on the rear quarter panels here, we've actually added in a mid-range and a tweeter just to give a little bit more clarity to the system as well, and also bring that sound stage exactly where we want it for a client. Obviously this being a 7-seater, it's really important that our client actually retain those 7 seats as well as all the space in the vehicle, which is exactly what has been done. You might be thinking, oh, how on earth have we included all that gear, which is sub, 3-way front end, 3-way rear, 2-way surround rear as such, a 10-inch sub, and many amplifiers and a processor into the system. So underneath the factory floor, underneath here now, so underneath the factory floor on the Mercedes GLS, you've actually got plenty of space. So what we've done is mounted the 10-inch active 10-inch sub, which is the Prima range. We've got three amplifiers from the Hertz Mille power range in the system that are running basically the rear end of the car. Then we've got 2 products out of the Audison Thesis line. One is obviously the flagship, which sits right at the top looking incredibly pretty, the Audison Thesis Venti, the flagship of car audio, the £10,000 amplifier that is just 2 channels, and that is basically running the mid-ranges on the car. Mid-ranges are really important, and I was actually just chatting to a client earlier today, he owned a Maserati, and came by and he was saying he was missing something. And what he was basically missing is that mid-range frequency. A tweeter and a 6.5-inch mid-bass does drop nice enough to be able to cover a mid-range frequency on many cars. However, a mid-range takes the strain away from a tweeter and a 6.5-inch mid-bass driver, and in essence that is it. It just takes the strain away and it just sounds a lot smoother, a lot more natural as well. So that is the mid-range as a frequency plays a lot of the frequency range that you can hear. So from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, mid-range covers a hell of a lot of that. So that is why we're using the Audison Thesis Venti on those mid-ranges, especially now because they're in a better location. Then underneath the Audison Thesis Venti, underneath that £10,000 amplifier, there is now a £4,000 amplifier, which is still out of the Audison Thesis line, so still the flagship of car audio as high as it gets, and that's a 4-channel amplifier that is running the tweeters and mid basses. So you've literally got a full Thesis front end here. It sounds absolutely bonkers. We've just finished up the tuning on the car. It just is absolutely ridiculous. We've got fans in there to keep everything nice and cool, so about 5 fans in total, and we're actually running this off just an upgraded factory battery. Factory alternator will be absolutely fine with this. We've done all the measurements, we've done all the testing, just an upgraded factory battery which help this perform really nicely. So we've got one of the Mille powers in the rear quarter on the right hand side, 2 down on either side next to the sub. the Audison Thesis Quattro underneath the Audison Thesis Venti. And then you've got the bit virtuoso, which is basically the brain of the system and allows us to tune it and get the car exactly how we want it. But the main thing is our client didn't want to see a thing. So as soon as I remove this, I can pop that down and away you go. You've got all your boot space back, but you've got one absolutely bonkers system in this GLS. So without further ado, guys, you've had the demonstration and run through of the spec of this system, but now let's jump in the car and you guys are gonna listen to the system with me. It is absolutely breathtaking. I cannot wait to embark on the journey with you guys. So the GLS is finally complete. The Audison Thesis Venti system is just another level. And before we get into listening to it, there is nothing that comes close to an Audison Thesis system. Nothing. Just come by and listen to it. I've got this amplifier, and we did a few, and basically I literally could not have it in my own car. So we've got that now in our demo car for you guys to listen to. You have to come listen to it in person. Listening to it on whatever platform you're watching today's video on, you will never ever be able to experience an Audison Thesis Venti with listening to on a platform online. You have to listen to it in person. We've got multiple demo cars, guys, so it's well worth coming by. Like we had a client earlier, came by, sat in a couple of different cars and understood what he needed for his car. So this is just something just very special, guys. So enjoy. That's all I can say. Just sit back, relax. So good.
Not to lose the game. The darkest night is always seen.
Just bad.
We don't need nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, but know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The darkest night is always seen.
Doesn't matter what you listen to, it's just beautiful.
I used to dream about money, about a big
Literally, you can hear her on the bonnet there. Literally right there.
You're such a fire when you love me.
I got goosebumps. It literally goes through you.
We are all the same. Fame, attention, confirmation.
Literally getting goosebumps.
Why do we care? What is it worth?
It's just another level. Thesis is just, you get a Thesis Venti in a car and you are done. It is incredible. And this is just one Thesis Venti.
I've been lost here.
And it literally goes through you. The top end is so crisp. It's just breathtaking. There's nothing like it. Honestly, there is nothing that comes close to having an Audison Thesis Venti in a vehicle. And this is, remember guys, this is just one Thesis Venti. Can you imagine what multiple Thesis Ventis in a car? So that is a challenge to you guys. Whoever is out there that wants multiple Thesis Ventis in a car, you know exactly who the specialist is. We're based in the UK, and if you're looking into the Audison Thesis Venti as a product, you may probably be based abroad as well. We offer full international transfer solutions for your car to come to our site here in Cambridge to embark on a journey like this car has, and honestly, it is so worth it. So if you're based in the UK, you're fortunate enough to have us relatively close by. We have loads of options to get the car delivered to us or get the car over to us. However, if you are based internationally, the car does need to be here to have this level of work done. It needs to be in our 11,000 square foot controlled workshop environment. But we do offer full international transfer. So no matter where you are in the world, guys, if you want the Audison Thesis Venti or you want the Cambridge Car Audio treatment, which hand in hand, goes really nicely together. And as you guys know, and as you have seen on YouTube and on our content, we've done a fair few of these Audison Thesis Ventis now. It is absolutely breathtaking every single time. There is nothing on the planet like it, and it just revolutionizes a full driving experience. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have loved it and also embarked on the journey with us. So thank you very much for sharing this journey with me. I'll see you on the next one.